back to another Week in the Life of episode. We begin this episode with a trip down to the iconic Chico Basin Ranch, where I was looking to see some late spring migrant bird activity down there. Particularly, I was looking for the Bullock's Oriole and an American Redstart. After I left Chico Basin Ranch, I went to my cousin's house for a barbecue, and she had some very active hummingbird feeders.
Man, I have seen everything today.
For part two, we head out to the Rocky Mountain Arsenal here in Denver, and what immediately caught me off guard here was how much water they've taken in. It's just from all the rain that we've gotten so far this spring. There are areas that I've never seen water before. Like in this clip, this great blue heron is walking around in what looks like a very healthy pond. Normally this is an empty, dried out field, but because of all the rain that we've gotten, there are areas that are just almost unrecognizable. Lower Derby Lake is completely full. Normally it's dry, and I just couldn't believe seeing all the water out there. It was really crazy. part 3, we have to travel absolutely nowhere. This is lightning shot out my front porch here in Inglewood, Colorado, where I live. That night, a storm rolled through and I started seeing flashes outside my window. So I thought, oh, I wonder if I could get some good lightning here. So I propped up my camera on a bar stool that I had set up on my front porch that acted as my tripod and just started doing some long exposure shots. And I did not expect to get bolts landing in my neighborhood, but yeah, got some pretty good stuff. It was a really fun, crazy night here at home. Part 4 sees us out in Douglas County, where I stopped by a few of my favorite spots, including Plum Creek within Chatfield and also Roxborough State Park. I was just out that day looking for some interesting bird photos, but I kept getting rained on. Off and on, storms would pop up, so I would leave or get back to my car, and ultimately didn't really get many good shots at either of those locations. So as I was driving home, considering the day a bust, I decided to stop at one last park where I'd seen some owls before, but not this year, so I wasn't really sure what to expect, but I was able to track some down, so I am glad that I stopped by. All right, part 5 sends us down to southeast corner of Colorado. I was with my friend Michael this day, and we decided to go out for a storm chase. The tornado potential this day was not very high, but it happened to be a day that we both had off and didn't have obligations, which is very rare for both of us to overlap like that, so we decided to give it a shot, and I do think I ended up getting some decent shots down here. We did get on a few severe warned storms and one tornado warned storm, although we didn't see any tornadoes. And I think some of the shots were pretty good, and I think some of the time lapses are kind of cool. Just seems like we've been waiting around for years to get a decent Colorado setup, and looks like we're going to still be waiting. So anyways, enjoy the photos and some of the time lapses here, and as you'll see at the end, be very careful when it comes to flash flooding. All right, well, that is what I've been up to these past, we'll call it a week or maybe 2 weeks. Maybe a little bit of fraud there in the title. A week in the life of a photographer, maybe 2 weeks. But hope you enjoyed it, and I did get mostly wildlife, and then got some storm stuff in there too. The night of that storm that came through Inglewood was super cool and very unexpected, and I really wanted to get my tripod to do lightning photography, but it was out in my trunk of my car, and it was already downpour. So if I ran out there, I was gonna get soaked. So I was just like, "What could I use real quick?" And I've got a island in my kitchen. It's got a couple bar stools that you can sit at, and so I grabbed one of those and just put my camera on top of that and set some long exposures and got what I got, which was super cool. And then getting out for the storm chase down in southeast Colorado. Actually, it was just a couple days ago. And yeah, it was nothing spectacular, but it felt good to get out there again. And, we've been so starved of severe weather here in Colorado probably the past 2, 3, maybe 4 years. And that's mostly been due to us being in a La Nina pattern for quite a while. But fortunately, we are out of that and we are transitioning back into El Nino, which usually translates to more severe weather sort of in the high plains area where I like to chase. So that's Colorado and Wyoming and Nebraska Panhandle and maybe even up into South Dakota. So I was hoping, I guess, maybe for some like immediate results, but I'm almost wondering now if we need to give it like a full, kind of year of being in El Nino before we start seeing that severe, sort of return to the high plains when we expect it, which is, I always say, the first 2 weeks of June. That's the time I usually would always take off for my storm chase vacation, and I always just thought, that's prime time. That's when if you're gonna be ready for any time on the high plains, those first 2 weeks of June is when you should be ready to go, and it has not been that way. So we'll see. Maybe we'll have an active summer. I don't know, but anyways, thanks for watching the episode. That's all the things that I've been up to lately, and again, it's been cool putting these little clips together just to make like one video, because then I can go out and kind of just shoot what I shoot, and then once I get enough stuff to make like a cool compilation to put it together like this. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will return with a new video at some point soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.